Hello everyone and welcome to my Bachelor Nation 24 channel, I hope. Everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Todd Chrisley shares message hours before he's set to report to prison. One final message. Todd Chrisley and Julie Chrisley are expected to begin their respective prison sentences on Tuesday, January 17. And he's got his faith at the forefront of his mind. He is always on time. Hashtag #FightTheGoodFight. The 53-year-old Chrisley knows best Allen wrote on Monday, January 16, alongside a clip of Southern gospel singer Karen Peck performing 4 days late at a congregation. While Todd is set to serve 12 years at the minimum security federal prison camp Pensacola, Julie, 49, will spend her 7-year sentence at the medium security federal correctional institution, Marianna SCP. Both facilities are in Florida, but more than 2 hours away from each other. His son from his previous marriage, Kyle, 31, added, "I love you, Daddy, this isn't over." The couple are also parents of sons Chase, 26, and Grayson, 16, and adopted their granddaughter Chloe, 10, in 2016. Todd also shares daughter Lindsay, 33, with ex-wife Teresa Terry. Us Weekly confirmed in November 2022 that the twosome were sentenced to a combined 19 years in prison following a fraud trial. Todd and Julie, who have maintained their innocence via various statements and a not guilty plea, were indicted in 2019 on 12 counts of tax evasion, bank and wire fraud, and conspiracy. They were accused of exaggerating their earnings to banks to borrow more than $30 million. The former USA stars claimed their former employee Mark Braddock committed the crimes behind their backs. It all started back in 2012, when we discovered that a trusted employee of ours had been stealing from us big time, Todd said via an Instagram statement at the time. To get revenge, he took a bunch of his phony documents to the U.S. Attorney's Office and told them we had committed all kinds of financial crimes, like tax evasion and bank fraud. That got their attention all right. But once we had a chance to explain who he was and what he'd done to us, they realized it was all a bunch of nonsense, and they sent him on his way. Not only do we know we've done nothing wrong, but we've got a ton of hard evidence and a bunch of corroborating witnesses that proves it. Earlier this month, the pair's requests for bail and to delay the start of their prison sentences by 21 days were denied. Over the weekend, they were spotted running errands in their hometown of Brentwood, Tennessee. As the clock ticked toward the hour that would forever split his life into before and after, Todd stood outside his lavish Nashville estate for what could be the last time in years. The birds chirped their ordinary tunes, indifferent to the gravity of the moment. But for Todd, nothing about this day was ordinary. Wearing a tailored navy blue sweater, jeans far too pristine for the situation, and the weight of looming incarceration pressing on his shoulders, Todd held his phone up and hit record. This wasn't a goodbye. This was, in his words, a recalibration. "Hey y'all," he began, voice calm, but a little shakier than fans were used to. "It's your favorite Southern gentleman with a message, not just for my family, but for every person out there who's followed our journey, warts and all." He paused, exhaling slowly. "In just a few hours, I'll be reporting to serve my sentence. It ain't something I ever imagined would be part of my story, but here we are." The internet would soon explode with reposts and reactions, but for Todd, this message wasn't for headlines. It was a piece of his truth, edited not with clever quips or network approval, but with humility and rawness. "I've spent the past few days doing what any father would, holding my children tighter, whispering more prayers than I can count, and looking back over every decision, every move I made that led us here. If you think this is the part where I claim I'm innocent and scream injustice, well, maybe you don't know me as well as you think." There was silence for a beat, then the smallest smirk. "I'm not perfect. Lord knows I've made mistakes. I've been prideful. I've been arrogant. I've said things I regret. But I've also tried, truly tried, to be a provider, a protector, and a man of faith. Sometimes faith means walking through fire and trusting you'll come out stronger." The camera shook a little as he set the phone down, placing it against a garden planter. He wanted people to see him, fully, not just from the chest up. I know people are gonna say, he's still putting on a show, or he's doing this for sympathy, but I'm doing it for my kids, for Savannah, for Chase, for Grayson, for Chloe,
Chrisley
and yes,
was for
inside
Julie.
the house at that very moment, packing her final few personal items before heading to serve her own sentence at a separate facility. The couple had shared coffee and prayer that morning, neither knowing when they'd next sit across from each other. She and I, Todd said, we've weathered storms, public opinion, and plenty of foolish choices, and we've had to look each other in the eye and say, we'll own our part, we'll walk this road, and we'll come out refined. Then came the part that made headlines. The part where Todd, known for his biting humor and camera-ready one-liners, turned the lens inward. I've been the king of shade, you'll know that. I've thrown sarcasm around like confetti at a wedding. But prison isn't a punchline. It's a reckoning. And as strange as this sounds, I'm ready. He glanced at the sky, watching the sun push through the gray. This isn't the death sentence. It's a season. And like every season, it'll come to an end. I'm walking into that place with my Bible in one hand and my head held high, not because I'm proud, but because I'm grounded. He leaned closer to the phone. And don't get it twisted. This doesn't mean I'm okay with how things played out. There were things that happened that weren't right. But I've learned that sometimes you have to stop fighting to be right and start fighting to be whole. Fans flooded the comments within minutes, but Todd's voiceover continued. To those who hate me, who think I deserve every second behind those bars, I hear you. I'm not mad at you. Life humbles us in ways we don't expect. Maybe this is mine, but I also want to say this. God ain't through with me yet. I'm not done. This is just an intermission. He reached down, picked up the phone, and held it closer to his chest now. And to those who love me, who stuck by me when it would have been easier to walk away, thank you. Keep praying for Julie, for our kids. They're stronger than you think, but even the strongest people need lifting up sometimes. His last words were barely above a whisper. If you remember nothing else, remember this. I may be going to prison, but I am still free in my heart, and I will walk out of there a better man than I walked in. He ended the recording, then quietly walked inside. Moments later, the family SUV would drive away from their gated home, Todd inside, staring straight ahead as they made their way toward the federal prison in Pensacola. Back at the estate, the video upload pinged to Savannah's phone. She hit post with trembling fingers and a silent prayer, not just for her dad, but for the whole family. In just a few hours, Todd Chrisley's world would change forever. But before it did, he got the last word, not in defiance, not in vanity, but in faith.